Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montevilla Sewing Center, and today we're going to talk about the Janome Skyline S5. In this video, we're going to do a general overview of the parts of the machine. Over here on the right side, you have where you plug in your power, your foot control, and over here is where you can plug in a thread cutter switch that you would attach to your foot control. Now, the thread cutter switch comes as an additional accessory that you can get, but there's a little jack for it, and I have one for my machine here. Up here we have the hand wheel. Now the hand wheel, remember, if you're going to hand walk stitches, always turn it towards you, like that. Don't go backwards, but that's the hand wheel. Here we have the cover. And inside the cover is all the beautiful stitches that you can do. You would type in the number of the stitch that you want to do in whichever mode you're in. Here we have a handle, a nice wide handle, easy to grasp. Open that back up. Inside we have the Bobbin Winder spindle and the little stopper that goes with. There's a thread cutter here, so once you've finished winding your bobbin, you can cut the thread from the bobbin spool right there. Over here we have the spool pin for the top thread right here, and this is the thread paths for the either winding bobbin or threading your machine. Here you have your tension for your top thread. This here is the presser foot pressure. Now, where you put this dial will determine how tightly the presser foot pushes against your fabric. Here we have the take-up lever, and here's the speed slider. Now what this does is it governs how fast your machine can go. So if you want to keep a nice, slow, steady, controlled speed, say you're doing free motion quilting or something like that, you may want to have it down slower. Also, if you're new to sewing, it's a good idea to slow it down. Once you get better at sewing, then you can speed it up and have it all the way full speed all the time if you want. This is a thread cutter. Now what this does is when you push this button, it cuts the threads and pulls them to the back of the fabric, leaving about 1/2-inch tails. This is your needle up, needle down button. I'll show you how that works. Needle down, needle up. This is your auto lock. What this does is it does a locking stitch. It kind of stitches in one place, and the feed dogs move just a tiny little bit, and it creates a little knot on the back of your fabric. This is your reverse button, which has a similar function in terms of knotting off your threads, but as long as you push this, you're stitching in reverse, so 2 or 3 stitches is about all you need. This is the start-stop button. Now, pushing that right now, you can't start or stop your machine because the foot control is connected. If we disconnected the foot control, pushing the start button would start the machine sewing. In that case, I usually have my speed slider down a little bit because I don't want to be sewing too fast if I'm going to have to look away from my work and push the stop button in order for it to stop. But this is a nice feature to have if you have a stitch like a buttonhole that has a stop. It stops when it's done making. You can just push that button, make your buttonhole without having to put your foot down on the pedal. Okay, now this is a really nice feature here. This door opens up. It's very handy if your thread, say it shredded at the needle area and came up here and broke and maybe got tangled, you could get right in there, take all that out of there, and then rethread it and keep sewing. Also over here, this little thing here is for an extra accessory that you can get that has a magnifier on it. It's slide it around like this, swivel it around, and it would magnify the area that you are sewing. So that's a nice feature. Okay, on this side over here, we have the thread cutter, and so that would be for manually cutting your thread. So you could cut your thread a bunch of different ways, either with your scissors or with the button up here, the little button. And I'll show you what that looks like right here. This is that thread cutter switch that I was talking about that is an extra accessory that you can get. So you can cut your thread that way, and of course you can always cut it using that little tool there. And in my sewing, I use all different ways. Probably this one the least, just because I have to take my eyes off what I'm sewing in order to use that. I want to make sure I hit the correct button when I'm doing that. Okay, so over here we have the accessory tray, and it really holds a lot of accessories for your machine. You can pull that off here, and here we have the free arm. Now the free arm on most modern machines is not big enough to do, I mean, it's too big to do like a cuff on a shirt, but on pant legs, it's ideal for like if you're hemming some jeans or something, you can get that right up there. It's really nice. And then we have the needle plate and the bobbin area. You can take your little bobbin cover off like that, and that's where your bobbin goes, like that. We have, this is a quick release ankle for the presser feet. And under there you have the feed dogs, and that's what pulls the fabric along as you're sewing. Just put that right back down like that. Then we have the needle, of course, that's the business end of the sewing machine. The needle clamp, and that has an extra long bar because there are some accessories that you can get, you may already have with your machine, that part of it fits over there and it operates the little accessory as the needle goes up and down. Then we have the threader, really nice feature for this machine. It makes needle threading quick and easy. And the needle plate is what the needle goes through, forms a stitch underneath the needle plate and comes back up, and that's how stitches are formed. And then we have all these lines on here which helps you sew an even distance from the edge of your fabric, so your fabric guidelines right there. Now, another feature I want to show you, this is really neat. If you need to clean under here, which you should do regularly, you don't have to take any screws off of here. You just push down on that. This comes right up like this, and you can take this out, clean out your dust, clean out any lint or tangles or whatever in there. And then it goes right back on like that. Push down on that little target, and it puts it right back on. Okay, I'm going to put my bobbin back in here. And so this is the overview of this machine. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to show you. This here is for a knee lifter. Now I don't happen to have the knee lifter bar with me right now, but what that does is you can use your knee to push the bar to the side, and it will raise and lower your presser foot. The presser lever is right back in here, and you can do that without taking your hands off of your fabric. So the presser lever is in back. If you need a little higher lift, just press that up a little bit higher like that. So that is the overview to the Skyline S5. We're going to have other videos on this machine. If this video was helpful to you, give us a thumbs up. And if you have questions or comments, you can leave them in the little area down below. So thanks for watching. Bye.